This one is pretty heavy, I have to say.
Yeah.
This 11-year-old girl in Fall City, Washington.
Wow.
It's just outside of Seattle, 25 miles east.
Okay.
She is the sole survivor of a family shooting.
Oh, my goodness.
We're diving deep into this article from NBC News today.
Yeah.
And it happened on a Monday morning, October 24th,
Right.
just before 5 a.m.
So early.
Yeah. I mean,
Gosh.
what strikes me is
Yeah.
this just completely shatters any illusion of safety
Yeah.
that you might feel in like a suburban life,
Right. The contrast, the juxtaposition
Absolutely.
of this like idyllic setting with this horrific violence. It's very unsettling.
Very unsettling. And it's a reminder that,
Yeah,
darkness can lurk anywhere.
for sure.
So the victims in this case were Mark and Sarah Humiston,
Okay.
along with 3 of their children, Katheryn, 7 years old, Joshua, 9 years old, and Benjamin, 13 years old.
It's hard to even fathom.
All right.
The systematic nature of this, like targeting a whole family.
Right.
Yeah, it points to something that feels more calculated than just like a fit of rage.
Absolutely.
It's chilling, the intent there.
And the alleged perpetrator in this case is the 15-year-old son of the Humistons.
Oh.
Can you imagine the shockwaves through this community?
I can only imagine it defies our understanding of family.
Right, in the sanctity of the home.
The home should be a safe place and
Exactly.
yeah.
So this brings us to this 11-year-old survivor.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
She is incredible.
Yeah.
Not only did she have the presence of mind to play dead after being shot,
Right.
she escaped through a window
Wow.
and sought help from a neighbor.
Oh my God.
I mean, what a story of resilience and
Thinking so clearly.
Yeah.
Under pressure, that's incredible.
just incredible. Just incredible.
Oh, wow.
So, according to the probable cause statement, and by the way, a probable cause statement is that document that outlines the evidence
Right.
that leads to the charges.
Right.
The 15-year-old called 911 after the shootings.
Okay.
Initially tried to pin the blame on his 13-year-old brother, Benjamin,
Oh, wow.
claiming that he was responsible and had committed suicide.
That's a classic
Yeah.
shifting of blame, right?
Right.
Especially in these familial cases,
Absolutely.
trying to manipulate the situation.
Investigators, though, saw through this false narrative.
Okay, good.
And they say the evidence suggests that he staged the scene.
Oh, to make it look like his brother did it.
Oh,
That adds another layer of complexity
it does.
that he's trying to control the narrative.
It does.
Yeah.
And the 11-year-old survivor told investigators that her brother used their father's Glock handgun,
No, wow.
which was kept in a lockbox.
Okay.
And she also revealed that the 15-year-old was the only one who knew the combination.
Wow. So if true, that is very disturbing, the planning, the forethought.
Yeah, so the 15-year-old appeared in court earlier this week,
Okay.
waived his right to appear, and is being held in juvenile detention.
Right.
Has been ordered no contact with his surviving sister.
Wow. So it's serious.
It is, yeah. And it's important to remember,
Sure.
he's innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely.
His defense attorneys have issued a statement emphasizing that point.
Okay.
These are allegations, not facts.
Right.
And describing him as a typical 15-year-old who enjoyed hobbies like mountain biking and fishing, no prior criminal history.
It's that contrast, right, of
Yeah.
this like seemingly normal kid with this horrific act.
It's baffling.
Makes these cases just so baffling.
It really does. It just goes to show you things are not always what they seem.
You never know. Cases like this, they really make you wonder what is happening behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Like, we see the happy family on the outside,
Right.
but who knows what's going on.
Exactly. It really makes you wonder, like, what could have been the
Yeah.
contributing factors to this.
Right. What might have led to this.
Yeah.
One area investigators will likely be looking at is mental health.
Yeah.
Was there something there?
Right. Were there any, like, issues that were maybe missed or
Underlying issues.
untreated?
Uncreated, missed. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so easy to assume,
Yeah.
Like a teenager who has no criminal history, has these hobbies,
Seems normal.
seems normal, couldn't possibly be capable of this kind of violence.
Right.
But we know that mental health can manifest in so many different ways.
It's not always obvious.
No, and it's not always obvious. So
In adolescence, I mean, that's a time of a lot of change.
Right.
Physically, emotionally, socially.
yeah,
So that's often when we see mental health issues arise.
right.
So early intervention
So important.
is so important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So another thing that I think is interesting is, we know that the Humistons homeschooled their children,
Right.
which isn't inherently a bad thing,
Of course not.
but it does create a more, kind of insular environment.
Right. More isolation.
Could that have played a role?
Possibly, yeah. It's really important that
Yeah.
when you're homeschooling, you're making sure your kids are,
Socializing.
socializing, having support systems outside of just the family,
Right.
because development depends on
Interaction with peers, different
Sure.
perspectives.
exactly different perspectives.
Sense of belonging in a bigger
Exactly. All this
community.
You got it.
And then there's the whole issue with access to firearms.
Yeah.
We know the father owned a Glock handgun.
Right.
It was stored in a lockbox.
Whoa.
But the 15-year-old knew the combination.
That is the thing about guns. It's like, even when you think you're taking precautions,
Right.
there's still a risk.
Yeah.
And this is the worst case scenario of what can happen
Absolutely.
when guns fall into the wrong hands.
This really highlights
Yeah.
the importance of
Responsible gun ownership,
responsible gun ownership and storage.
especially in homes with kids.
Especially when you have children. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it goes beyond just locking them up.
Yeah, it's the conversation
You have to have the conversation
with your kids
with your children.
about gun safety,
Absolutely.
about the potential
Consequences.
Exactly.
And it's not just about the physical safety either.
No.
It's about fostering an environment
Yeah.
where your children feel comfortable
Right.
talking about their problems, their struggles, their feelings.
Communicating.
Yes.
Yeah, creating that safe space for
Yeah.
emotional vulnerability
Yes.
is so essential.
Absolutely.
And I think it goes beyond the family, too. Like, in our communities, we need to destigmatize mental health.
Absolutely.
Encourage help seeking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's normalize, it's okay to not be okay.
Right. It's okay to not be okay.
Right.
It really is.
And that asking for help is a sign of strength.
Absolutely.
Mm.
It's not weakness.
And that goes for adults, too, not just children.
Of course, everyone.
Adults need to feel empowered
Yeah.
to seek help.
For themselves or for loved ones.
Yes.
To reach out.
Most of the time.
Absolutely. We're all in this together.
We are.
And creating that culture of support.
Yeah.
Compassion, understanding.
Yeah.
I think, we can create a world where these tragedies happen less often.
I hope so.
So this case, it's obviously sent shockwaves
Oh, yeah.
through this community and beyond.
It really has.
And it raises so many questions
Yeah.
about human behavior, the warning signs,
Yeah.
the importance of addressing mental health.
Absolutely.
And I think as we're grappling with this tragedy,
Yeah.
it's just important to remember there are no easy answers.
No, there aren't.
We may never fully understand what led this 15-year-old to do this, but,
Yeah.
by exploring the potential contributing factors,
Yeah.
mental health, family dynamics, access to firearms,
Yeah.
we can hopefully gain a deeper understanding
Absolutely.
of how complex these issues are.
And maybe prevent.
And hopefully, work towards creating a
Yeah.
safer, more supportive society for everyone.
Yeah. This deep dive into this tragic case, it's far from over.
No, not at all.
There's still so much to unpack. Okay, so we've been talking about this really horrific case in Falls City, Washington. And I think it's time we kind of shift gears a little bit and look at, the legal proceedings.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are the latest developments with the charges against this 15-year-old?
So he is facing some incredibly serious charges. 5 counts of aggravated murder
Wow.
and 1 count of attempted murder,
Yeah,
all classified as acts of domestic violence.
right.
And to complicate matters even further, the attempted murder charge carries something called a firearms enhancement,
Oh, okay.
which means if he's found guilty, that could result in a much, much harsher sentence.
Wow. Yeah, that's really serious stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember, didn't he have a court appearance earlier this week?
He did.
But what happened there?
So it was on Tuesday, and he actually chose to waive his right to appear in court.
Oh, wow.
So it was his defense attorneys who really took center stage. They, really hammered home the point that he's presumed innocent until proven guilty, of course, and
Yeah.
that everything we're talking about, these are just allegations, not facts.
Yeah, and I remember reading that they were trying to portray him as, a typical teenager,
Yeah, that's right.
talking about his love of mountain biking and fishing, and that he had no prior history with law enforcement.
Exactly.
And it's hard to reconcile that image with, such a brutal act.
Right, and I think that's what's so so challenging about these cases. You
Yeah.
know, they just really shatter any expectations we have.
Absolutely.
And you try to make sense of them, you know,
You do.
and fit it into your understanding of the world, but sometimes it just doesn't compute. It really forces us to confront that there are these dark corners of human behavior.
Right, and that we may never fully understand.
That we might never fully understand.
So where does the legal process go from here?
So right now, the investigation is very much active.
Okay.
You know, authorities are gathering evidence, they're interviewing witnesses,
Yeah.
trying to piece together that timeline of events.
Right.
The teen is currently being held at a juvenile detention center,
Yeah.
and the court has issued a strict no-contact order with his surviving sister.
I can't even imagine what that poor girl is going through right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's just
You know, to witness something so horrific and to lose her entire family.
her whole world just shattered.
Yeah, and to have to, deal with the complexities of the legal system.
At such a young age.
I really hope she has the support that she needs to try to heal.
Me too. It's, you know, her resilience is remarkable.
Yeah.
But this kind of trauma, I mean, it leaves scars. And it's so important that she has access to, you know, therapy, counseling, all the resources that she'll need.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this case has sent shockwaves.
For sure.
Not only through the community, but I think really around the country.
Absolutely.
What do you see as the broader implications of this tragedy?
You know, I think it's a real wake-up call.
Yeah.
You know, it forces us to have those conversations about mental health awareness,
Yeah.
responsible gun ownership,
Yeah.
the need to create those supportive environments
Yeah.
for our children and for families.
Yeah.
It also highlights the need to have open and honest communication.
Yeah, and to destigmatize,
And to destigmatize.
mental health issues.
Absolutely. We need to create that culture where it's okay to not be okay.
Right, where seeking help is a strength.
Strength, yeah.
And not a weakness.
Not a weakness, right?
Right.
So I think, you know, it's just a reminder that we have to be vigilant, not only in protecting our physical safety, but also, you know, nurturing that emotional well-being of those around us.
Yeah, and paying attention.
Paying attention
To the subtle.
to those little signs
Yeah.
and listening without judgment,
Yeah,
offering support, you know,
absolutely.
without hesitation.
Well, this has been a heavy story.
It really has.
I mean, we've dived deep into some dark corners here.
We have.
But, amidst the darkness, there's always, I think, a glimmer of hope,
There is.
and by shedding light on these really tough topics
Yeah.
and, engaging in these conversations, learning from this tragedy.
And learning from it. Right.
Yeah, hopefully we can take steps to create a world where families are safer, where children are protected, and where mental health is given the attention that it deserves.
Exactly.
And remember, you're not alone in this.
You're not alone.
There are resources out there, people who care,
Absolutely.
a community ready to support you.
For sure.
And if you're looking for more in-depth discussions like the one we had today, be sure to subscribe to our channel, Mind Clash.
Yeah. Check us out.
We'll continue to delve into these really complex issues that are shaping our world.